Good evening. Tonight we're going to start with Lesson 6 in our Unit 3, Connect Pictorial Representations of Division to Long Division. Okay, so we're going to use the place value chart along with just standard long division, the steps that we need to know. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to break up the 74, and there are 7 tens, and there are 4 ones. And I'm going to equally divide them up into 2 equal groups. So here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have that 7 because we can't split up the 7. So we're going to cross out the 6 because we use 6, and we're going to give 10 over here. So we're going to have 10 ones. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that means we have 14, and that is divisible by 2. We can divide by 2 into 14 because it goes 7 times. So let's split up the 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so how much do we have in the tens? We have 3, we have 30, and then we have 7 ones. So the quotient to 74 divided by 2 is equal to 37. Now on this side, we are going to show the same thing now, but using long division. 2 can't go into 7 equally. It can go into close. Closest we can go into 7 would be 6. So we would put a 3 on top, and then we're going to multiply 3 times 2, and that's 6. Then we're going to subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1. We bring down the 4, and then we're going to divide all over again. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 7 times 2, 14, and we do not have a remainder. So here we have place value chart, and we're comparing it with long division. Now, when we use long division, the inverse operation is multiplication, the opposite. So we always want to check to see if our work is right. We have the pictorial of the place value chart to help us to see that we did it correctly. But pretty soon we're not going to be using the place value chart, and we're just solely going to use long division. How do we check? We do the opposite. So we're going to take 37 and 2. The answer, the quotient, multiply by how many groups that we're making it into. 37 times 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So we have an answer, a product of 74. And right inside the division, we have 74. So we know that we did this correct. All right, our next one, 135 divided by 3. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to break up the 135. So we have 1 hundredths, we have 3 tens, and we have 5 ones. And now we have to split that up into 3 equal groups. There's 1 group, there's 2 groups, and our last one is 3. Let me just make these lines bigger. Okay, very messy. But all right, so now, but I'm noticing that the hundreds is only 100, and 3 can't go into 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 1 and we're going to give it to the tens, and now it's going to be tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I have 10, and which was now going to give me 13. And I have 5 ones. All right, now if I look at the 13 tens, we know that 3 can't go into 13, so we're probably going to have to give one of those tens to the ones. But let's split up what we can. So now we have 13. I'm going to place, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we took care of all of these and then this, but we have to take care of that 110 and give it to the ones. So it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now it becomes 15. And we know that 15 is divisible by 3. So let's split up 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so now how much do we have in the tens? We've got 4 tens and we have 5 ones. So the quotient to 135 divided by 3 is 45. Now let's check this with long division. 3 can't go into 1, but 3 can go into 13 as close as we can is 4. We never can go over. So 4 times 3 is 12, and we're going to subtract that. And we get 1, and then we bring down the 5, which now becomes 15. And we start all over after we bring down. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 3, 15. We subtract, we get 0. But like I said before, we always have to check. So we're going to take our quotient and multiply it by how many groups that we have to put it into. 45 times 3, 15. Carry the 1. 1 times 4 is, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So we have 135. 135. We did this correctly. Okay, our next one, 568 divided by 4. Okay, so we're now going to break up 568. So we have 5 hundredths, we have 6 tens, and we have 8 ones. And we need to put them into 4, it's a bad line, 4 equal groups. All right. So 4 equal groups. There's 3, and let's just add on another. Oh my goodness. And there we go. Okay. So now 4 equal groups. Let's split up the 500. We know that 4 can't go into 5, so we know we're going to have to give one of those hundreds to the tens. So we're going to probably have to put in 4. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take that extra 100. Give it to the tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we have 16. And 16 is divisible by 4. So we'll split up 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We have 8 ones, and we know 8 is divisible by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many in the hundreds do we have? We have 100, we have 4 tens, and we have 2 ones. So the quotient to 568 divided by 4 is 142. Now let's check it using the standard. 4 can't go into 5, but we know it can go in once. 1 times 4 is 4. We subtract, we get 1. We bring down the 6, becomes 16. After we bring down, we go back to good old division. 4 goes into 16 4 times. 4 times 4, 16. Subtract 0. We bring down another number, an 8. And after we bring down, we go back to division. 4 goes into 8 2 times. 4 times 2 is 8. Subtract with no remainder. So 142, 142. And like I said, let's check. 568, whoops, excuse me, that's not correct. 142, we take the quotient and we multiply it by the number that we divide by. We get 8, 16, 500. So 568 matches the number that we're dividing into, so we did it correctly. All right, next one, 732 divided by 3. So I'm going to break up 732. We have 7 hundredths, and we have 3 tens, and we have 2 ones. And we're dividing by 3, so we want to make 3 equal groups. All right, and extend these lines. Okay, so now we have to separate the hundredths into 3 equal groups, and we know it's not going to work because it's 7. 3 doesn't go into 7, but it goes into 6. So we're going to have to give one of those hundreds to the tens. So let's separate this, the 600 then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We used up this. And we're going to give over this 1 to the tens. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we have 13, but we know that 3 can't go into 13, but it can go into 12. So we're probably going to have to give one of these these 10s to the 1s. So let's just separate it into what we can work with. Here we go. So we're probably going to end up being 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is no more room for 13. So we're going to take this and we're going to give it to the 1. So it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now it's 12. And we know 12 is divisible by 3. So let's break up the 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. How many hundreds do we have? We have 2 hundreds. How many tens? We have 4 tens and we have 4 ones. So 732 divided by 3, the quotient is 244. But let's use the good old standard method. 3 can't go into 7, but it can go in twice. And that 3 times 2 is 6. Then we subtract, we get 1. We bring down the 13. Remember, this is what we did over here. There is our 13, but we had to give one of those 1s over. So this is where this is happening. 3 can't go into 13, but it can go into 4 times, because 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract, we get 1. Bring down the 2. Now, after we always bring down, we divide all over again. 3 goes into 12, 4 times. 4 times 3, 12. Subtract with 0 remainder. So we have a match, 244 and 244, but let's get into that habit and check. So we're going to multiply the quotient times the number we're dividing by, which is 3. 4 times 3 is 12, carry the 1. 4 times 3 is 12, plus this 1 is 13. And then carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So 732, 732, check. We did it right. Okay, so 328 divided by 2. Now, if you look at this sign is what we've been seeing lately. And we're also seeing another one, but this is how we can divide. This is how we say it, 328 divided by 2. We don't say 2 divided by 328. Because if you say that, you're basically saying this. And that is incorrect. So we read it with the big number coming first, divided by the small number. So let's get rid of this because that's incorrect. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by saying 2 goes into 328. This is the standard. And I always like to use the following steps. Division, dad. Mom, multiply. Sister, subtract. B, brother, bring down. And sometimes there's a dog in this division family, and his name is Rover. Every time, and that stands for remainder. Anytime after we bring down, you have been seeing me do this with those many examples, that we go back to division. So we need to follow these steps when we're doing long division. So we division, dad, multiplication, mom, subtract, sister, and brother, bring down. So here we go. 2 can't go into 3 evenly, but it can get close, which we can go in once. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, so there we use the division, we use the multiplication. Now we need to use the sister, and she tells us to subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. Brother tells us to bring down. After we bring down, because there's more numbers to do that, we need to go back to dear old dad, and he tells us, you need to divide. So 2 goes into 12 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. After we divided, we use mom, multiplication. Now sister tells us to subtract, and we get 0. Okay, now we go to B. Brother tells us to bring down, and it becomes an 8. After we bring down, we go back to dear old dad, and he tells us to divide. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 2. Mom tells us to subtract. Excuse me, Mom tells us to multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. Sister tells us to subtract. We have a 0. We have no other numbers to bring down. So we know, and we do not have a dog in this family. We do not have anything left over. So we know that just the quotient is 164. But get into the habit, guys, of checking. So we're going to take 164, and we are going to multiply it by the number that we're dividing by. 4 times 2 is 8. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 times 2 is 2, plus that 1 is 3. So we have 328, and we checked it. We got 328, so this deserves a big check. All right, using the steps, Dad, Mom, Sister, Brother, sometimes Rover. We are going to solve 459 divided by 3. So 3 can't go into 4 evenly, but it can go close. So Dad tells us to divide, goes in 1 time. Mom tells us to multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. Sister tells us to subtract. 1. Brother tells us to bring down. After we bring down, we need to go back to dear old Dad, and Dad tells us to divide. 3 goes into 15 5 times. Mom tells us to multiply. 5 times 3 is 15. Sister tells us to subtract. We get a 0. There is another number to bring down, and that's a 9. So Brother tells us to bring down. So now, after we bring down, we need to go back to dear old Dad, and he tells us to divide. 3 goes into 9 3 times. There's your Dad, your division. Mom tells us to multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. Sister tells us to subtract, and we get 0. There is no number to bring down, and there's no remainder. There's no dog, so the answer, the quotient, is 153. So we have to check. 153 times the number we're dividing by, 3. 9, 15, carry the 1. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So 459, we deserve a big fat check. What fish only swims at night? You gotta solve the next couple of questions to find out the answer. Good luck. 642 divided by 3. Please bring in your work tomorrow. Use your place value charts or long division, but I better see a check. 196 divided by 2. Bring in your work tomorrow. Choose between place value chart, standard division, and a check. What fish only swims at night? A starfish. Have a great night, guys.